It matters greatly that we have a president, President Trump, who is very clear about who Iran is. That has not always been the case with every administration. And many people don't realize the impact that Iran has on the entire world. Obviously, they've been severely weakened in the past months, thank God, and thanks to the efforts of Israel and the help that Israel has from America. But this clarity and focus on dealing with the Iran issue is critical. Listen to how eloquently President Trump speaks to this to the Saudis directly.
For many centuries, the Middle East has been home to Christians, Muslims, and Jews living side by side. We must practice tolerance and respect for each other once again, and make this region a place where every man and woman, no matter their faith or ethnicity, can enjoy a life of dignity and hope. In that spirit, after concluding my residence in a fabulous place that we're at today, Riyadh, which I've gotten to know so well in so short a time, I will travel to Jerusalem and Bethlehem and then to the Vatican, visiting many of the holiest places in the three Abrahamic faiths. If these three faiths can join together in cooperation, then peace in this world is possible, including peace between Israelis and Palestinians. I will be meeting with both Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Palestinian President Abbas. Starving terrorists of their territory, of their funding, and the false allure of the craven ideology will be the basis for easily defeating them. But no discussion of stamping out this threat would be complete without mentioning the government that gives terrorists all three: safe harbor, financial backing, and the social standing needed for recruitment. It is a regime that is responsible for so much instability in that region. I am speaking, of course, of Iran. From Lebanon to Iraq to Yemen, Iran funds arms and trains terrorists, militias, and other extremist groups that spread destruction and chaos across the region. For decades, Iran has fueled the fires of sectarian conflict and terror. It is a government that speaks openly of mass murder, vowing the destruction of Israel, death to America, and ruin for many leaders and nations in this very room. Among Iran's most tragic and destabilizing interventions, you've seen it in Syria. Bolstered by Iran, Assad has committed unspeakable crimes, and the United States has taken firm action in response to the use of banned chemical weapons by the Assad regime, launching 59 missiles at the Syrian airbase from where that murderous attack originated. Responsible nations must work together to end the humanitarian crisis in Syria, eradicate ISIS, and restore stability to the region, and as quickly as possible. The Iranian regime's longest suffering victims are its own people. Iran has a rich history and culture, but the people of Iran have endured hardship and despair under their leaders' reckless pursuit of conflict and terror. Until the Iranian regime is willing to be a partner for peace, all nations of conscience must work together to isolate Iran, deny it funding for terrorism, cannot do it, and pray for the day when the Iranian people have the just and righteous government they so richly deserve.
Here he says, he concludes in this piece. By the way, when did President Trump say this? In 2017, he was giving this talk, and which is way before what we just exposed um, of what happened in Syria. That many people were trying to cover up about what Assad was doing, and which was all he was propped up by Iran. And the key here also is to understand that the greatest victims of Syrian brutality are who? The Syrian people. The greatest victims of Iranian brutality are who? The Iranian people. If we care about these masses of people, millions and millions and millions of people, if we care about these people, then we must deal with these horrific, destructive regimes, not only for their country, but where it wreaks havoc throughout the world. President Trump is clear about this, and this is a very big blessing.